Hey guys, welcome back to Bear Mountain Builds, and today I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. Alright, so here's the blue tub. Now, big things to note is this has to be super clean before you can paint it at all. As you can tell, I have debris in here from the renovation going on, and you want to make sure you get rid of all this soap scum that's in here because that's going to make it so it won't be able to bond. Now, speaking of bond, I'm using the Bathworks Tub and Tile Refinishing Kit. I'll link this down below in the description if you want to check it out at all. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get this a little bit wet, and then I'm going to put some Comet in here and scrub this whole thing down. Now, let's get started. You can use Comet or Ajax cleaner along with a Scotch-Brite type pad to clean your entire tub. You really want to pay special attention to the heavy soap areas like around the drain. Any soap residue left on the tub will cause a bonding failure with the paint. I ended up going over my entire tub a couple times to really make sure it was clean. Now I want to preface this video with saying using this kit to paint a tub really isn't very hard, but it will take some time and it can get a little tedious at points, but the more time you put into cleaning this tub to make sure it is perfectly spotless, the better results you're going to get. So I've been scrubbing with this Scotch-Brite pad for a while and it's been working pretty well, but then I realized I live in the future and I have power tools. So I have this. Now let's give this a try. I really like using this drill scrubber. It's way more effective and a lot easier than scrubbing by hand. I highly recommend getting this if you're going to be doing really any sort of deep cleaning at all. So I'll have a link to this down in the video description. Additionally, I recommend using a scraper to help get rid of some of the really stuck on residue and caulk. As you can tell, I'm in the middle of a bathroom renovation right now, and if you want to check it out, I'll link to it up in the corner. Now, for those of you that want to paint your tub and put up new shower tile, I recommend putting up your tile first and then painting the tub, because if I barely touched my cement boards, they would rain grit into my tub as I was trying to clean it, so having some walls that are already tiled would have made it much easier. Which is why I'm putting tape up in an effort to reduce the debris from coming in on the edges. With all the residue removed, I'm using the provided etching cleaner in warm water and going over the entire tub. This prepares the surface for bonding. You'll definitely want to be wearing some gloves and eye protection for this part, because this is pretty strong stuff. Once finished, I wash the tub down completely. While the tub is still damp, I use the provided sandpaper to go over the entire surface. With that done, I rinse the tub one final time, then dry it completely. I taped off all of the tub edges and I'm making sure everything is bone dry, paying special attention to the drain area. Any remaining moisture will result in bond failure. I recommend going over the entire tub with a hair dryer for good measure. Using gloves and the provided tack cloth, I wipe down the entire tub to get rid of any dust or particles that are left. You'll want to do this right before you start painting. If any repairs need to be made, these should be done before using the tack cloth. Sorry about the focus, but that's the provided primer. I'm using a paper towel to wipe down the entire tub with the primer and let dry on the surface for 5 minutes. I mix together the paint color and hardener, then let it sit for 5 minutes. At this point, I have 3 hours to apply the paint before it becomes completely unusable. I mixed 1 ounce of the paint into the included non-slip container, then poured it into the center of the tub. Using the provided 3-inch yellow roller, I spread the mixture out. Now, the directions say to let it set for 10 minutes, but I recommend letting it set for 20 minutes because I found that the paint wasn't dry enough and began to spread the non-slip texture to the other parts of the tub when I started to paint. I started off painting all the edges with the provided foam brush. For the painting process, you'll need to be wearing gloves and a mask. Additionally, have as much ventilation as possible because the fumes can get pretty strong. I filled the provided paint tray with paint and began painting the wall of the tub with the provided roller. It's very important that you do not dry roll. Go ahead and load that roller up because there is plenty of paint. I even ended up with some excess at the end. After the walls, paint the bottom and the curves. You'll want to leave the top of the tub closest to you for last because it's a really good spot to place your hand to support yourself when you're trying to paint all those farther reaches on the tub. I recommend painting the upper edges and then the front of the tub and then the top. I recommend putting a good amount of paint on the floor and walls since those will be receiving the most wear and tear while you're showering or bathing. But try to keep the amount of paint on the top surface to a minimum because I've found that excess paint on the top will very slowly seep over the edges while drying and can create some subtle creases. A second coat can be applied right away following the same pattern, but just be careful to avoid leaning on all those wet surfaces. Finally, wait at least 45 minutes after painting before removing the tape. Make sure to pull the tape off at a 45-degree angle to avoid dealing any damage to the surface. Now, I decided to wait 24 hours for full cure before removing my tape in order to prevent bits of cement board from falling into my drying paint. Just another reason to put up your wall tile first. I had to use a box cutter to score the paint slightly, but it peeled right off.
Really, painting a tub is not very difficult. All you need is a little bit of elbow grease and some time, and it's honestly pretty straightforward. You just want to really be diligent in your cleaning, and then when you paint this, just follow some of my tips and it's going to turn out great. I hope you guys learned a lot, and if you enjoyed this video at all, hit the like button for me. It helps me out a ton. Also, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you've done this before and you have your own tips, let me know. I love reading all your comments. You guys are great and I always look forward to them. And as always, hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all my future projects. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.